You know how sometimes love shows up in your life when you least expect it, and it shakes your world in ways you can't explain? That's what happened to me. I wasn't looking for love. Honestly, I thought I had it all figured out. A stable relationship, a steady job, and a plan for the future. But one random spring night, my life changed forever. This is the story of how I fell in love with someone who wasn't supposed to be mine, how society tried to stop us, and how we discovered what true love really means. At 32, I was living in Chicago, working as a pharmacist. My life was predictable, almost too predictable. I had been dating Sarah for 4 years. She was kind, beautiful, and everyone thought we were the perfect couple. Marriage was on the horizon. My parents adored her, and honestly, I had convinced myself that this was it. But if I'm being truthful, something always felt missing. We went through the motions, dinner dates, family gatherings, holiday trips, but the spark, the soul-deep connection I dreamed about, it wasn't there. Still, I told myself, this is life. Love is supposed to settle, not soar. One chilly spring night, after a late shift, I stopped by a small neighborhood library to return some books. That's where I saw her. Emily. She was sitting on the floor between aisles, her hair tied in a messy bun, lost in a book of poetry. When she looked up, her eyes met mine, and something inside me shifted. We exchanged a few words, a smile, and then somehow ended up talking for nearly an hour. She wasn't just beautiful, she was alive. Every word, every laugh, felt real, unfiltered, like she was showing me her true self without fear. When I left that night, I told myself it was just a conversation. But deep down, I knew something had changed. Over the next few weeks, fate kept bringing us together. At the coffee shop down the street. At the local park. Once, even at the grocery store where we both reached for the same carton of milk. It was as if the universe was conspiring. And every time we talked, the connection grew deeper. I learned that Emily was a social worker, passionate about helping single mothers and kids in tough situations. She was the kind of woman who carried both strength and softness. But there was something else. Emily was a single mom. She had a 6-year-old son named Noah. When she told me that, she braced herself, like she expected me to walk away. But I didn't. Instead, I admired her more. The way she balanced motherhood, work, and life with so much grace. It humbled me. The more time I spent with Emily, the more I realized how empty my relationship with Sarah felt. With Emily, I was alive. With Sarah, I was comfortable. But comfort isn't the same as love. And soon, guilt began to eat at me. One evening, Sarah brought up marriage. Her parents were pushing us to set a date. I sat there, staring at her, realizing I couldn't marry her. Not when my heart belonged to someone else. Breaking up was messy. My parents were furious. Sarah's family called me selfish, immature, irresponsible. And maybe they were right. But I couldn't keep living a lie. Being with Emily wasn't easy. People whispered. Some friends said I was throwing my life away for a woman with baggage. Even my own mom asked me, why choose her when you could have someone with a clean slate? But every time I looked at Emily, I knew the answer. Because love isn't about a clean slate. It's about finding someone who feels like home. And Emily, she was home. Still, it wasn't easy. Emily hesitated too. She was scared that I'd get tired of the responsibility, scared that my family would never accept her, scared of getting hurt again. There were nights when she'd push me away, telling me, "You deserve someone who can give you everything." And every time, I'd hold her hand and whisper, "But you already do." One evening, I went with Emily to pick up her son from school. Noah ran up to her, hugged her tight, and then looked at me with curious eyes. He didn't say much, just smiled shyly. But that smile, it broke me. I realized love wasn't just about Emily anymore. It was about this little boy too. A week later, Noah drew a picture of the three of us, him, Emily, and me, standing under a big sun with the words, "My family," scribbled on top. That's when I knew. This wasn't just love. This was destiny. It took time, but slowly people came around. My friends saw how happy I was. My parents, though stubborn at first, couldn't deny the way Emily lit up my life. Sarah moved on too. In fact, she ended up marrying someone who was truly right for her. And me. I had found not just love, but purpose. Looking back, I realized something. Love doesn't always arrive when you plan it. It doesn't always fit neatly into the boxes society creates. Sometimes it's messy. Sometimes it's complicated. But when it's real, it's worth fighting for. That one spring night changed everything. It taught me that real love isn't about perfection. It's about connection, courage, and choosing each other every single day. And as I sit here, watching Emily and Noah laugh in the living room, I know one thing for sure. I made the right choice.